back to the LNC Painter YouTube channel. In today's video, we're working on this 2021 Porsche Cayenne. As you can see, we already started repairs on the car. We're going to repair the front hood, the fender, door, and then the flare that goes on the rear quarter panel. Let's take a look. A few good-sized dents there. So my dad is currently repairing the hood. Got a scratch on the fender here that we're gonna repair. Plus we're gonna blend the fender since we're repairing the door right here. We're gonna stay on the front half of the door. That way we don't have to blend the rear door. And then we're gonna have enough room to blend within the front door. And then we got a little scratch here on the quarter flare that we're gonna remove, repair, and paint as well. So we're gonna do all the proper repairs and then we're gonna get right back into it once we're ready to prime it. Now that we got our repaired areas primered, it's time to prep it. First we're gonna do is 320 grit sandpaper. We're gonna block it out. And then once we block it out, everything looks good. We're gonna go over it with 600 grit DA. And then all the blend areas where I'm not gonna put any base coat, we're gonna go over with 1000 grit DA. That way our color match is gonna remain the same on all the adjacent panels. And it should come out looking super good. So let's do the block first and we'll go from there. Now I just blocked the primer areas with 320 grit, so I'm gonna actually pull the car outside. I'm gonna let the primer breathe a little bit now that we sanded it, and then I'll continue prepping it. Meanwhile, I got this Tesla prepped, ready to go. We repaired the lower sections on the door, the front and the rear doors, so we're gonna put some color on here, clear both doors, and make it look just like new. I used white primer, so it's gonna have super easy coverage on our base coat. But for now, let's take the Porsche out, let it breathe, take it out into the sun, let the primer fully cure, and then we'll continue prepping the rest of it with our 600 grit and 1000 grit. All right, so our Porsche Cayenne is finally prepped, it's cleaned up, and it's ready to go inside the booth. Here's what it's looking like. Prepped the entire hood area, the fender, and the door. So I finished painting the Tesla Model X. I'm gonna pull this car out of the spray booth right now. Should be dry. Yeah, looks dry, looks beautiful. 3-stage white pearl. Blended out the color on the bottom of the doors where the repair was. Stayed away from all the edges so our color remains untouched and factory-like. So I'm gonna mask this bad boy, get it out of the spray booth, and then you're next, buddy. Car is in the spray booth, cleaned up, ready to go. All that's left to do is mask it up. I got my masking paper and my tape. So let's quickly mask it up and we'll be ready to go. All right, we're all masked up and we're ready to go. Car is ready. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna clean it with a wax and grease remover and a microfiber towel. All right, so now that our car is cleaned up, and I got my flare right here as well, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna mix up this clear base coat. It's a uniform finish blender. Basically, it's a coat of base, but it's completely clear. So it's just gonna seal in all these prep marks and scuff marks, and it's gonna give us a nice uniform base for our base coat. And then that way, when we're blending our color, it's gonna blend in smoothly into the panel instead of sitting on top of the panel and creating a texture. So that's why I like to use this clear base coat. And for this job, we're gonna be using my TEKNA Prolite. It's a 1.3, spraying at 22, between 20 and 22 PSI. So we're gonna spray this down first, and then while this one is drying, I'm gonna mix up my base coat. Here we are. This is what it's looking like. So you can see it looks a lot nicer, a lot cleaner. And it almost looks like it's ready to clear coat, just because we have good black primer on there. So we're gonna get coverage very good, very easily, I should say. So we'll just do our 2 coats plus a control coat, and we should be ready to clear coat. Okay, so our color code is C5M. It's a Porsche called Moonlight Blue. I'm gonna do our prime variant. Use undercoat G7. It's a dark gray, black, so that's what we have. And we're gonna mix the minimum, which is 9.5 ounces is the minimum. Let me see what we're painting. 9.5. I'm gonna do a little extra. I think I'm gonna need about 12. Ready to go. Got my color mixed up. 12 ounces should be enough for the job, and let's spray it down, see what it looks like. And then before my final control coat, I always do a light check to make sure I have coverage. Because last thing you want to do is clear coat the panel and then pull it out into the sun and you can see the primer lines. This lets you see exactly if you have coverage on your primer. This cover actually has pretty good coverage. That's why it covered so quick. Just 2 coats did the trick. So now I'm just gonna do my control coat, which is you dial down the pressure. I spray about 16 psi and I back away from the panel. Then I do a greater overlap. So that way it evens out the metallics and makes it look nice and clean and uniform, and you don't see any blotchiness. So yeah, let's do our control coat, mix up our clear coat. We'll do 2 coats of clear and this car should be ready to go tomorrow. Alright, so our base coat is finally dry. It looks beautiful, nice and clean, very uniform, blended out perfectly. I have my clear coat mixed up. We're gonna do our 2 coats like usual, and this car should come out looking super slick. Take a quick look, see how our base coat turned out before we apply our clear coat. As you can see, it looks very clean, very uniform, silky smooth. That's what we want to see. Did a nice clean blend on the door, stayed away from all the edges, blended into the fender, and of course painted and blended the hood. Got our flare here as well for the rear quarter, so we're ready to go. Let's do this thing. Next day, the Porsche is finally dry, it's painted, and it's ready to go. Time to unmask the car and pull it out of the spray booth. But first, we gotta take a look and see how it turned out. Happy with the job, turned out beautiful, very flawless finish, super glossy, super clean. So time to unmask the car, get it out, get it assembled. We're gonna wash and detail and deliver to the customer. Once it's all put together, I'll let you guys see what it looks like once it's clean, ready to go. Let's go. guys for watching our rebuild, the repair and paint on this Porsche Cayenne. Turned out beautiful. Refinished the door, fender, and the hood. We did a nice clean detail and it's ready to go. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up, comment below. Also, if you're not already subscribed, subscribe so you don't miss any new videos. That is going to be it for today. We'll see you guys on the next